Welcome to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. And to our viewers at home, we're talking all about where you are in the year right now. This year is flying by. There is a 10-point checklist that Legacy Retirement Group has come up with to help you realign your goals, reassess where you are, and move forward with confidence as we skate through the remainder of the year. Kristen, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for asking. And Greg, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm excited about this show. I think it's going to be awesome to go through these 10 points and see if we can help some folks.
Most definitely, because boy, don't you find that it's true? This year really is flying by. Like I remember my mom saying, you just wait. Time is really going to fly by when you get older, but it's true. Every year seems to go by faster.
It is, and this year especially, I mean, I remember distinctly giving birth to Christian, my oldest, and I don't want to get emotional, but he is graduating this year.
It's crazy, I know.
Class of 2025, he's graduating, and I can't believe it. I remember when he was younger, every year saying, I need to start getting his box together of all his memories and pictures so that I have it ready for his graduation party, and now we're here.
Yes.
We are here, and recently, I can't remember when it was, but our pastor did an illustration on his daughter. She graduated last year, and he was showing the amount of days he had with her. Was that what it was, with the marbles in the jar? You know what I'm talking about? And he showed like
each one was a week.
Yeah, or a week. Yeah, and it was full. And then he showed how many were left, and I was just like, oh my God! I know you want to cry, don't you?
Yes,
like,
because I can so relate to that.
Like that, you know.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it's flying by, and I'm getting ready. I'm making my checklist of things I have to do to get ready for him to graduate.
Oh, my goodness, I know. That's just incredible when you think about it, because you can reflect back to little babies. In fact, my daughter just got married, which I can't believe, because like you, in my mind, she's still like this little baby, but now she's a married woman, and it happened in a blink. Yes. Isn't that a country song, like, don't miss it, if you blink, you miss it, something like that? But it's true. You blink, and then boom, here we are.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's get to the checklist, because that's really what we're going to talk about today.
I know you and I are going to be sobbing.
It's going to be so emotional.
I'm trying to hold back the tears, yeah.
But I love that you've come up with this 10-point checklist, because it's so important for people to realize where they are currently at this point in the year and how they can make some changes if needed going forward. Number one that you recommend is deal with your debt right off the bat. Greg?
Yeah. Well, you have to, because debt can be a ball and chain around your ankle when you retire. Now, you know, we're not talking about if you still owe some money on your home, or perhaps even if you have maybe a lease or something on an automobile. Those would be what we would call tolerable debt, especially in today's interest rate environment, where, you know, many people have interest rates on their mortgage of under 3%.
Well, not today's interest rates, but,
no,
where,
talking,
where they were financed.
If their mortgage has been around for a little while, their mortgage rate's perhaps under 3, but they're getting now more than that on a savings or a money market at their bank. It doesn't really make sense to pay that debt off, but the debt we're talking about is, you know, revolving credit, such as credit card debt, or, you know, even sometimes you have to be cautious when, you know, it's 12 months, same as cash, which is certainly wonderful to take advantage of as long as you pay it off.
Yes.
You have to be disciplined. You need to divide that thing out and just pay what you're supposed to pay every month.
Yes.
You really have to be disciplined on those.
And there's been several families that got in a little trouble there, and we've been able to help them create a strategy. And one of the best ways to get out of debt is to find not necessarily the highest interest rate first necessarily, but the smallest amount of debt. If you have a credit card that's maybe $1,000, maybe, you know, we had a family that had $60,000 of credit card debt.
60,000.
60,000.
Wow. But
they had a few that were under 5,000 each. So what we began to do was attack each of those one at a time. Let's get the smallest one paid off. And the money you were paying on that, let's pay it off on the next smallest one. And we started picking them off, and then we would have them take the same amount of money they had been paying and now put it all towards the next smallest one. And then as we kept picking them off over a 6 or 7 year period, they were able to get totally out of debt.
Wow.
That's amazing. And it's important to bring that up, because so many families we work with have so much money saved in deferred accounts, tax deferred accounts. So when you go to pull that money out, you're paying the tax on it. So you really need to be methodical about how you pay that debt down. You don't want to end up having all this money owed in taxes while you're trying to pay debt off, and then you're losing money faster than if you have a system. Another item on the checklist is having an emergency fund.
Ooh, important, very important.
Right, and I think what's interesting, you know, this is on one side of the ticket that we don't really talk about a lot. So many of the families we work with have done an awesome job of saving. They don't have debt and things like that. But there are some out there that have a good amount of savings and they want to retire. And these are some items that maybe are an arbitrage over their head. And so emergency funds are important. Even if you have debt, you need to try to save and get that fund back up. Otherwise, it's just going to be this perpetual cycle of adding more debt when you have unexpected expenses.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense.
And you know, I've been counseling with several families recently where the family really didn't have any. They had lots of money saved, but they didn't have emergency funds. And in one family recently I met with, the husband said, well, we only keep about $5,000 in the bank because we don't think that money can grow well enough. And I said, well, the purpose of that money is not to grow. The purpose of that money is to take care of any expenses that you can foresee in the next 3 to 5 years. And he looked puzzled at me. He said, Greg, why 3 to 5 years? I said, because that is a market cycle. I said, the hardest part about giving yourself permission to spend in retirement is if you have to reach out and you have to sell a stock or a bond when it's down, or if you have to sell a mutual fund when it's down. It's so hard. I said, if you have to wait 3 to 5 years to enjoy your retirement because you're waiting for the market to come back, you can miss an opportunity.
Absolutely.
So it's more than just an emergency fund. It's in addition to that, it's a permission to spend fund. It's, okay, you've got a project coming up on the house fund. It's, you've got to buy a new car in the next 3 to 5 years fund. It's all of those things wrapped into one. It is your sleep well at night money. That's exactly what it is, and that's what we want it to be, so that people can have that peace of mind that, okay, if something comes up, or if I choose to do something, I have money to do it.
Absolutely.
Number 3 is your budget.
Ooh, there we go
Or
again with the
spending.
budget.
Plan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are we going down the budget line already?
Well, and I want to touch on something maybe we don't talk about very often with budget is understanding where your expenses lie.
Yes.
That may be another way to say it.
Expenses do lie, don't they?
Well, one of them is are those fees and subscriptions
Yes.
that we subscribe to on a monthly basis.
Yeah,
I would
they
never
just
do a
come
thing
out
like that.
automatically.
I would never do that.
I had to add parental controls on his phone because he would sign up for these.
That's a dirty
apps.
thing to do.
I know.
A parental control.
You wonder why you couldn't do anything anymore, didn't you? So you know how you had these apps,
Yes.
and they're free, right?
Right.
But then they start charging after a month.
Yes.
Well, he's not in the details of that. You know, he just knows he wants it and he uses it, and then he decides he doesn't want to use it anymore. And then a couple months later, I'm like, Greg, what's this $19.99 charge? And it's some random fitness app, usually is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or tracking app.
Well, yeah, because you have to shift your fitness things. You know,
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't keep
Well,
doing the same exact thing over and over again.
That's true.
Yeah.
I forgot what the most recent one was. It was $50 a month.
Wow. Okay.
And I saw it twice, and I'm like, okay, what is this thing? And he's like, oh, I signed up for that, but I didn't use it. I'm like, we've been paying for it. You know, so that's something on the checklist when we're really starting to understand what we can do to make sure everything's in order is making sure you know where your expenses lie, making sure that budget's in order. And it doesn't mean you have to get rid of it like I made him do.
Well,
But
it is
understanding
about
what you're spending.
Yeah, it is about
Absolutely.
becoming more efficient. And part of having a budget, Cynthia, is not about limiting yourself. It's about understanding what it is that you actually spend. So when you get to that point, now you can set a plan that's on track for what you're actually trying to achieve.
Absolutely. Well, Greg and Kristen, I know that you have a very special offer to present to our viewers at home. Greg, let's talk about what that is before we open the phone lines.
Well, you know, Cynthia, the thing that we see, no matter whether someone has an advisor or not, is seldom do people have a written income plan. So one of the biggest fears, though, that we see for you at home is that you're worried, many cases, that your dollars won't last as long as you do. Well, how do you ensure that you can make sure that they last as long as you do? Well, part of the way you can is by having a written income plan. And that really encompasses a full-blown check of your budget, all your income sources, doing the math to make sure that you're on track for a winning retirement. So if you'd like to schedule an opportunity to get that written income plan, just give us a call right now, 614-336-7660, or just go to legacyretirementgroup.com, hit schedule now, and they get to meet with me or Brent or someone else in our office, and we'll look forward to that.
Greg, thank you so much. And Kristen, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call is on your screen, 614-336-7660. What we're addressing today is the Legacy's 10-point checklist. It's going to be most impactful for pre-retirees and retirees. Everyone should be paying attention to these 10 points for the middle of the year. That number again to call in to claim your spot with Greg and Kristen and the team would be 614-336-7660. If you don't have your pen handy, that's okay. Grab your smartphone. It's even simpler still. Click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to Legacy Retirement Group's landing page. You can claim your spot accordingly. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We're going to dive back into this 10-point checklist when we return.
We know the market is going to get worse from here. This is the biggest monthly decline in 10 years. People's 401ks took a major hit.
My investments are tanking. My retirement isn't going as planned. I can't believe I let my kid talk me into buying crypto. I mean, what is that anyway?
This was the fourth worst contraction in history.
So how are you two doing?
Your financial future doesn't have to be uncertain. I'm Greg Taylor with Legacy Retirement Group. If you've amassed a nest egg, it's time for a financial advisor to help you reach your retirement goals. This is one of the greatest tax windows in history. Now is the time to take advantage of this tax discount while you can. We specialize in retirement planning, tax mitigation, estate planning, and much more. Plan your retirement right. Call now for your complimentary portfolio review and tax analysis.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group, and we're talking about a 10-point checklist that you'll want to be paying attention to. We've already covered 3 points. We have gone through dealing with our debt. We've talked about reviewing our budget and other accounts, and also making sure that we have an emergency fund. We're going to go into number 4, and Greg, this is a big one. Let's talk about contributions.
Contributions. And now with contributions, what are we contributing to? Well, hopefully our future, and that would be through, ideally, 401ks, IRAs, or Roth 401ks, or Roth IRAs, and now OSU offers the Roth 457 deferred compensation. So that really begs the question, okay, with contributions, which way are we going to go? Are we going to go Roth? Are we going to go traditional? And my advice typically depends on what tax bracket they're in. If they're in the 24% bracket or lower, meaning that their income is around $384,000 a year or lower, then I typically recommend the Roth. If they are in the higher tax bracket, 32% bracket or the 35% bracket or the 37% bracket, one of those 3 brackets, now I typically recommend that we go traditional and get the deduction from the higher tax rates, but take advantage of the lower tax rates with the Roth. So contribute.
And we're always open to collaborating with CPAs on that as well.
Oh, for sure, because we're not CPAs, we're not tax professionals, but we do help people create tax strategies. And there's a difference between tax planning and tax strategies.
Absolutely.
And with that, what we want people to do is take advantage of their opportunities. But especially right now, they can take advantage of the catch-up. If you're 50 years old or older, instead of just being able to put $7,000 in a Roth IRA, you can now put $8,000 a year in a Roth IRA if you qualify, or traditional. And so with that, or the 401k, you now are able to do more. You're able to put up to $30,000.
HSA.
HSA, health savings accounts, that's right. So all those things are important. The HSA is probably the best thing ever because you get a tax deduction when it goes in. It accumulates tax-free, and as long as you use it for appropriate health care costs, it is pulled out tax-free. So it's a triple tax benefit. It really is. So if that's available in your health care plan, you should really take advantage of the HSA. But contribute. Contribute, 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 especially if you're getting a match, if you're getting free money. There's so many people I've talked to that were not taking full advantage of free money.
That's 100% return. Where can you get that?
Yeah, I mean,
That's true.
If you think of it that way.
I'll
That
be
is
walking
true.
across the street, I'll bend over to pick up a nickel. I'll pick up a quarter. So why would not, if someone can contribute 6% of their pay and maybe get a 3% match, or some companies give as much as 100% up to 6% match. I mean, that's wonderful. It's a wonderful benefit, and it just hurts my heart for people to not take advantage of that.
Well, you know what
It
else
really
hurts?
does.
You know what
Makes
else hurts your
sense.
heart?
What?
Number 5 on the list: tackling future taxes.
Yes.
When people don't do that.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
Great.
I hate taxes.
Yes.
I hate taxes, and you should too. I mean,
But we pay them efficiently.
oh no, we pay them now. Look, there's a difference between tax evasion and tax avoidance,
Absolutely.
right?
There is a
And
difference.
somebody said about 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, being locked up, that is. So, but seriously, we want people to
Is that a
avoid
dad
taxes.
joke?
Of course.
Yeah.
All dads, we go to this special school.
Yeah, I know.
To learn these amazing
And
jokes.
I don't laugh at 'em.
They're amazing, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that, taxes.
Yes.
Cynthia, it's been said over and over again that taxes are on sale, but they are.
Yeah.
They are on sale right now. And who doesn't like a good sale? I mean, Black Friday, but back when Black Friday was actually, Black Friday, when actually you had to wait till then. And Kristen and I, when the boys were little, I can remember one Christmas, it was Black Friday, and we had something we wanted from Walmart, and we had something we had stuff for the boys that we wanted to get
Toys
at
R Us.
Toys R Us.
Oh,
But the
wow.
Walmart one, you had to go at a special time. So, being the ingenuitive one that I am, I found one of those items early and I hid it behind some wedding stuff at Walmart.
You thought no one's going to be shopping for wedding things on Black Friday.
Okay.
He actually
Yes.
did
How'd
this.
that turn out?
It worked.
It worked.
Really?
Yeah, when we put it in our cart, people were like, "Where'd you find that? Where'd you find it?" Oh, yeah, there's one laying around. Yeah.
See, I wish I knew you when I needed the Tickle Me Elmo.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
yes.
wish I knew you then.
This was a cricket, actually.
Oh my
those-
gosh.
Yeah,
the crafting.
tools,
Yeah.
the crickets.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Well, so then we were at Toys R Us, and it was pouring the rain. So here's Kristen and I outside Toys R Us, inside a cardboard box, waiting to get in to get stuff.
Your train's getting derailed.
Oh, my
That is
goodness.
cute. That is cute, though. I
Yeah.
can relate to that.
Because we were looking for a sale.
Yes.
Look, you don't have to go outside in the rain and get in a cardboard box to get taxes on sale right now. You can take advantage of it. And I want people to do that.
I think it's important to say why you say they're on sale, though, because, I mean, think about it. Our country is in debt. Our debt keeps getting worse.
Yes.
And worse and worse. Who's going to service that debt? Who's going to pay for it?
Taxpayers.
That's where it was. That's where.
Taxpayers.
We owe the debt. $36 trillion are right around there now, and we owe that debt. It's a big debt.
Yes.
That we have to repay as a nation, as people, as individuals. We each owe a share of this.
Yes.
So what do we do about it? Well, as I just mentioned, start contributing to the Roth instead of the traditional if you're in the right tax brackets. But if you're not, maybe you've already, been going down that traditional road. You've been following that path all these years. Well, it might not be too late. You can perhaps, and it's case by case, it's not a carte blanche for everybody, but start converting, taking your traditional, converting it over to a Roth, paying the taxes at these rates, and getting Uncle Sam paid off.
Yes.
Pay him off. I hate
100%.
taxes. So should you.
Wow.
I love it. Well, Kristen, I know that you and Greg have a very special offer to present. Let's talk about what that is before we reopen the phone lines.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about the things that you should kind of have on your checklist as you're getting through partway through the year here and understanding what you need to know for your retirement. And I think it's a good time to go on our website, click on tools, and request a copy of the My Retirement Kit. So with that kit, you can start looking through the items that should be on your checklist, maybe formulating some more of the questions that you might possibly have, and really getting things in order, if you will, organizing your retirement so that you can move forward and creating a plan. You can call our office at 614-336-7660 to request it as well, or go to legacyretirementgroup.com.
Kristen, thank you so much. Greg, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, that number to call is 614-336-7660. Or if you don't have your pen handy, grab your smartphone, click on that QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That will take you right to Greg and Kristen's landing page. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We are talking all about the 10-point checklist that you're going to be paying attention to. When we come back, we're going to dive into numbers 6 through 10. We'll be right back momentarily.
The work never seems to end until the day it finally does. After nearly a lifetime on the job, you should be rewarded for all the time you spent working. Whether that's crossing off items on your bucket list, learning a new passion, or rekindling the love of an old one. After all, life isn't over when you stop working. It's the start of an all-new chapter. The one where you're the writer and you get to choose how your story will go. A way to achieve that is by having a clear financial plan to sustain your golden years. The biggest fear most retirees have is if they'll have enough money to maintain the lifestyle they've always enjoyed. Having a plan to help protect you against the curveballs life often throws will help to maintain your lifestyle. Call today to get your free written financial plan so you may live every day to the fullest and enjoy the retirement of your dreams.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Greg and Kristen Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group, and we're talking all about that very important 10-point checklist that you're going to want to follow since we are where we are in the year. Greg, this next one, let's talk about number 6. How important is it for a portfolio review?
It's huge because the average family we talk to, they don't really understand how much risk they're taking. In many cases, they're taking the appropriate amount, but they just didn't know it. Other cases, they're taking on way more risk. I just met with a family that when we went through their risk score together and they answered what they were truly comfortable with, their risk score was a 33. Their current portfolio was a 77.
Oh my gosh.
And so they were comfortable with the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride as far as up and downs of
Yes,
the market.
yes.
And they were in the Millennium Force.
Oh my
You know, that's the
gosh.
300-foot straight down drop at Cedar Point.
Yep.
Yeah, they
Yep.
were in that one.
Wow.
So the comfortability is really what we're looking for, and the affordability. So with a portfolio review, what we're really trying to do is make sure that the portfolio is affordable and that it's comfortable. And if we can get those two things on track, now when market events happen, we're not scared to death.
Sure.
We're not worried we're going to run out of money. We're not worried that we're going to lose too much. We've got an efficient plan in place, and the review just really helps people identify whether or not they need help.
Yeah.
Greg, thank you. Kristen, what about insurance review? Number 7, insurance review.
Yeah, that's really important, and that's all insurances. So if you're still working, your health insurance or Medicare Advantage plans, right? And then there's auto and home insurance. There's lots of things to look at and see where you're at, how much you're paying, if it's possible you can save money there, what makes the most sense for where you're at. Sometimes people they sign up for those things, they leave them alone, they don't look at them again, and they're really paying more than they need to.
Yeah.
And along those lines would be looking at flexible spending accounts. And we mentioned that earlier, number
Yes.
8. We mentioned HSA accounts, but making sure that you're getting the most maximization out of that as possible. Adding the extra in for the HSA, the $1,000 extra over the age of 50, and then also understanding the differences. If you have the option for an HSA, that's much better than an FSA.
Yes, and remember, as we get closer to the end of the year with the flexible spending account, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Wow. Important to know.
Yes. So you have to take advantage, make sure you're utilizing that FSA and you're getting every dollar advantage that you can out of that. And another one is review your estate plan.
Okay.
You know, we're not attorneys. We don't give legal advice at all in our practice, but we have some wonderful attorneys that specialize in different areas, whether it's estate planning, you know, wills, trusts, things like that, or whether it's elder law, which now really they're trying to help people protect their assets from long-term care spend down. So that's a different practice. Or people who have children that are special needs, and now they need to be cared for should something happen to them, and we don't want the children to lose benefits. So this is all the type of planning, and in many cases, people's documents are more than 20 years old, or they have no documents at all, they have done no planning. So part of our team handles those things to make sure that people have all their ducks in a row, if you would, when it comes to their estate planning.
There's a
Sure.
little bit of a crossover that happens there with insurance too, because sometimes you don't think about life insurance being a part of that estate planning piece, but it can be.
It absolutely
And that may be
can.
all you
Yes.
need, right?
It might be. And then setting goals.
Yes, it's so important.
It's never too late in life to set goals. It really isn't.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, when you stop setting goals, you really stop living, because there needs to be something that you're setting for tomorrow.
I agree.
Whether it's a goal to learn something, whether it's a goal to read something, whether it's a goal to accomplish something, set goals. And it could be a goal for, as you're entering into retirement, could be a goal to, have a consistent plan. It could be a goal to make sure your investments are good. Make sure that you have a solid income plan. Make sure you have a tax plan. Make sure you have a health care plan. Make sure you have a solid estate plan that we talked about. But the 10-point checklist is really designed to help people see the areas in which need to be
Addressed.
looked at.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and attention paid to it.
Yeah, and what's
Yes.
interesting about checklists and getting all these things in order, what I find funny is that it doesn't solve necessarily any problems, but it helps you address them and be proactive about them. And I think through that, it's just like being educated about something. That doesn't mean you're necessarily going to go do it. It just gives you the confidence to know what you're looking for and to know that you're able to move forward willing and understanding what things need to be organized and be put in place so that you can be more confident getting through your retirement years. So that
Sure.
when life happens, because it will, you'll be better prepared.
Well, when the boys were getting ready to go to camp with church this summer, they had a checklist.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you went over it with them one by one, and things that boys forget, like underwear,
Of course.
Deodorant.
Absolutely.
the deodorant, things like that everybody else appreciates, when they bring it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and what it comes down to is knowledge is power. So
It
I
is.
love this 10-point checklist. It's so important. Obviously, we're gearing this up for the middle of the year, but really anytime. It makes sense to just really pay attention to where you are. So, Greg, as we wrap up, what final words of wisdom do you have for our lovely viewers at home?
Well, if you plan now, you can retire well. And that's really what it's all about. If you want to retire well, you have to have a plan. And, we love sitting down with families just like yours to make sure that you're on track. Give us a call, 614-336-7660.
Greg, thank you so much. Kristen, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, thank you for spending time with us this week as we went through the 10-point checklist. If you're in the audience today and you're asking yourself, do I have these items checked? And if the answer is no, this is your opportunity to call in, 614-336-7660. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today on Winning Retirement TV with Greg and Kristen Taylor.